Hello again, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of 15 Good Minutes. Coach B here. Charles, how are you, my friend?
I am doing wonderfully excellent. It's a great day.
Wonderfully excellent. Is that a double positive? You know, how people have double negative sometimes. Is that
Always a double positive, man. Look at this. If you wake up in the morning, right, everything else is fixable.
I'll take it.
In theory, that's true. Yes.
Freddie rolling his eyes. Freddie, what's up, man?
I'm just trying to process what Charles just said, and
You get used to it.
I'm good.
Used to it. LB, what's happening, my friend?
I'm good. I'm gonna have to start drinking something so I can understand what Charles will be talking about. Because this water is not enough. I need something a little stronger.
When I'm drinking something, I didn't even understand.
So he said it might not even matter. You know what I mean? But we love you, Charles. Really, we do. So, hey, we got an interesting topic today. And I'm going to ask LB to lead it. It's about this this event that happened last weekend. I'm just reluctant to call it a fight. I just didn't.
Yeah.
You know, for me that was a tough challenge. But there's some stuff that I think we can unpack here, LB, regarding this whole thing, man. So let me just toss it over to you, man, and tell us what your thoughts are on the whole thing, man, and I don't know how we got here with that.
Okay. So I'm gonna start with this. I was disappointed. And I think at the root of my disappointment is with myself. And I think we all need to be, I mean, for real, we all are culpable in this fiasco of an event, because I got the numbers here. 65 million households tuned into this.
Wow.
Right. 72,000 packed the stadium to watch it. Now, I'm gonna start with Tyson, but I want to go back to the other two fights, the two fights prior to the Tyson fight, which I think epitomizes part of the problem with boxing. Tyson last fought in 2005, I believe it was, and he lost.
Jeez, 19 years ago?
Right. I didn't know it was that long.
Yes, it was. It was 2005, because I wrote it down. It was his last, and I put in air quotes, real fight, and he lost. Okay? I don't even remember the guy's name. If I told you, you wouldn't know who he was anyway. But he lost to that guy. In 2020, he did an exhibition with Roy Jones Jr. during the pandemic. I don't know if you remember that. Yeah. And he looked, he looked okay for, a 50, what was he, 52, 54-year-old then.
Mid-50s, right?
Yeah, 54. I believe he's 54 then. Yeah, but still, he couldn't really hit Roy. I mean, when he did hit Roy, it didn't hurt him, obviously, because Roy didn't go down. And Roy was able to tag him quite a few times. So, again, this is why I'm disappointed with myself. What in the holy name of boxing did I think was going to happen when he looked this bad 4 years ago, and I think he got knocked down in 2005, that he was going to do against, and I'm going to say this too, I think nothing of Jake Paul as a boxer. I think he's not a boxer. He's a self-promoted, whatever, celebrity, YouTuber, whatever the hell he does.
Yeah.
But I will give him credit for that. He made himself something out of nothing. Enough that he made $40 million for this nonsense. Now, there's so many things I go with, but one more thing that just bothers me. How is it that the dude, this Paul guy, gets $40 million and he ain't beat nobody? Here we have the former heavyweight champion of the world with a 45 and whatever his record is, who was knocking Bammers out left and right, gets 20. There's nobody would pay to see Jake Paul fight unless he's fighting Mike Tyson. So how is Mike Tyson getting half of the purse that Jake Paul is, and who's in Tyson's ear to say, yeah, this is a good deal, man, take it?
That's what I was going to ask you, right? I assumed until very recently, LB, that it was just an even split. Two cats going to go down the middle. Right. Is it safe to assume?
At worst, right. I should say. At worst.
So, yeah. Is it safe to assume that Tyson is just ill-advised? Ooh, that's 20. Let's take it and run.
Well, honestly, Yeah, yeah.
He had bills to pay.
Right. Because at some point, I think Tyson said, you know what? This is easy money. It's easy money. I go out here, I can do some sparring sessions, make myself look like I'm doing some stuff. I can getting around, and I haven't seen the contracts. It might be something in the contract that says, hey, if I look bad, you're not gonna knock me out, or you're not gonna knock me down, or you're gonna hold punches, or whatever. I don't know, but it could have. The boxing is in such a state now that is a very plausible idea.
I agree, man. Charles, did you watch it?
I'm going to say a resounding no. I did not. I was watching the second season of The Diplomat when that
You
when
know what
that
that
match
is.
when that match was on. I mean, Netflix did a really nice coup here. All right, it was a Netflix original. It looks like they did a good job in broadcasting it, right?
No, they didn't. It was
They
terrible.
feel they did.
In my opinion, it was terrible.
Well, they got 65 million people to look at it.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Well, they got 65 million people to try to look at it because I watched it on my app and it kept pausing. I thought it was my app. I'm like, oh, maybe I need to reboot. Several times I thought it was me. I'm on a bad Wi-Fi.
So they really weren't prepared for that kind of thing, right?
Not at all.
Like an HBO or an ESPN that does live boxing. Netflix just wasn't prepared for that then, right?
Well, I gotta say that I was looking at Netflix at the same time this was going on, and I had no problem looking at it.
But you weren't looking at a live event though, Charles. Yours wasn't live.
That's true. That's
So
true.
if yours is stream, I think the LB's point, and what I read too said that they had so many people hitting it live that it just started making different servers crash.
This is Netflix. I mean, obviously they've done live events before, right, with really big crowds, right? But I think this is probably the biggest crowd that they ever had coming at one time at their servers, probably for a live event, right? I mean, like I said, it was a good coup for Netflix, right? They got an opportunity to do some promoting of some new shows they got coming out, right?
But here's my question for you though, Charles. I want to go a little bit deeper. You chose not to watch it. Why did you choose not to watch it?
It was not. I just wasn't interested. I just, you got an old Tyson, and just like LB brought up, the last time I seen this guy fight, right, was in early 2000s, right? And he was not the same Tyson, right? And then I heard about what LB said, the splitting of the purses. I mean, it's just the continuation of Tyson having bad people around them, giving them bad advice. All right. And I just was not interested at all. I mean, I didn't even have an inkling to even flip over to it, right, at all. And so when you send the link, when you said, hey, go out and look at it, I literally watched the first 10 minutes and that was it. I couldn't do it.
You went back to the Diplomat, did you?
Yeah, I went back to the Diplomat. I couldn't even watch the undercard. That's how uninterested you know what? I was just thinking, and LB had brought the state of boxing, right? I mean, if you really want to see some good boxing, good fighting, I mean, you got to go to UCF. I mean, UFC, if you want to see probably some good boxing right now.
Is that boxing though?
Yeah, that's not boxing.
It's not really boxing, but I'm trying to say, is that a good fight?
But the two fights, his name is the Ramos, and then the two ladies, Taylor and Soriano. Yeah, those were fights. Those are really good fights. So if you wanted to see some boxing, those two were in my opinion, more excellent.
They were more interesting.
Oh, absolutely, 100%. Excellent fights. But now I'll go back to my other point I was going to make earlier is now we come back to one of the problems with boxing is the judging. When so Katie Taylor won, she was a champion. I think she had 3 belts on the line. I didn't print it out. I printed out the CompuBox numbers. They are astounding. I mean, it's amazing that they gave the fight to Katie Taylor. Almost 2-1 in punches landed, power punches. She lost in every category, but yet she won the fight. Unanimously won the fight. and everybody in the stadium was booing. I mean, I'm in Florida. Like, are you kidding me? There's no way she won that fight.
When you look at what they wore, what is it, 14-ounce gloves, as opposed to the normal, what, 10 or 12, right? That says a lot right there also. Then, finally, right, that video that I sent you guys, toward the interview that he had with the young lady,
girl, yeah.
he said, what do you want your legacy to be? I don't care about a legacy. When you did, yada yada, so on and so forth, right? Traumatizing this young lady. But when you actually sit and look, and to me, the way I compartmentalized it and broke it down, I think he was saying, I got screwed over so much and during my career in boxing. Nobody looked out for me. This is my last opportunity to look out for myself, my wife, and my 7 kids and my grandkids. And, I get $20 million. If you listen to his statement, he says, oh yeah, a couple months ago, I lost all his blood. I lost 25 pounds. Well, he didn't look like he lost 25 pounds or whatever, but maybe he did. I don't know, right? I mean, he wasn't a little guy, but he didn't look, sick or anything like that. So whatever. But if you listen to what he said, even when I lost, I won because I had this opportunity. Now I get it. You're telling the narrative and all that, with your medical issues, and I'm not disputing his medical issues from what, in July or what have you. But when you tie it all together and you look at the performance, this was nothing more than a grift for him and Jake Paul, and they got the 65 million suckers that paid for it to see it, or whatever the case may be.
For Netflix, this is a huge success. This was a huge success for them.
If the money's there, I think we're going to see more of it. So yeah.
Unfortunately,
I would agree. Yes, unfortunately. Also, unfortunately, we've come to the end of our time. So before we go, let me see if the gentlemen have something to say. Charles, I'm going to start with you, buddy. You got something to say today?
We got a lot of stuff going on in the world today and stuff. And one of the charities that I want to mention is Wounded Warrior. Right, I'm a veteran myself, right, and I've actually participated in Wounded Warrior as far as helping build a house for Wounded Warrior, right, and so shout out to all those individuals that are that donate and are part of the Wounded Warrior Foundation.
Absolutely, well done, Freddie. How about you, man? You got something to say?
So officially imploding. They fired their GM today, and there's reports that the Jets are some are ready to move on from Rodgers after this season, right? So, hey.
So you basically what you're saying is LB had the scoop. LB had the.
I guess he got the drop on somebody, but it's very interesting to see how this situation plays out. I think if you're the Jets, you've invested too much to just blow it up after 2 years, right? I just think it's a bad deal. It's a bad look for you to just blow it up. So we'll see what happens.
Fair enough. LB, how about you, buddy? You got something to say today?
Yeah, I did, and I'm changing it midstream because Freddie mentioned the Jets. So I heard something today about the Dallas Cowgirls, and they were talking about the owner. And the comment that I didn't hear the whole diatribe about it, but the comment that I heard that stuck to my head was apparently Jerry Jones had done a press conference as he always does, but he sounded like, and they were comparing him to Joe Biden. He sounded like he was incoherent. He was, stumbling over his words and the kind of things that make people say, is he okay? So, and it goes back to what we talked about a few weeks ago, how the Cowboys are in such disarray. Yeah. And if the owner is having, cognitive issues, this might be a good time for somebody to say, you know what, let's make some changes here. Somebody in an organization who can get in his ear or get in somebody's ear who can get to his ear to maybe have him step back before he, passes out in front of the microphone or something.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's been showing his age for a while, and now it may be even more so, as much as he's in front of a camera. You know what I mean? So yeah. Good stuff. I got something to say is I was at a game last weekend for the beloved Tar Heels, and even though we won by 55, I don't feel good about the game. But what I do feel good about is They had a promotion that said if we score 100, everybody gonna get 2 biscuits. 2 biscuits. And Freddie's my witness. We got down to 95. Freddie was a little skeptical. I'm telling you, we was all up there. We want biscuits. We want biscuits. And Carolina scored 102, 105, whatever. The next morning, me and Freddie was at some place called Bojangles getting biscuits with sausage and grape jelly. So, and here's the thing, LB, it wasn't like the stuff like in this area. If they do a promotion like that, the next day you got to come show your ticket.
Right.
Carolina said everybody in the state of North Carolina go to any Bojangles anywhere on this day. Get your 2 free sausage biscuits.
Wow. Okay.
Huh?
That's all right.
That's all right.
That meant the homeless can eat.
Everybody's eating.
If you got $1.
$1.
Oh, yeah.
2 biscuits.
You said to pay. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
$1.
$1 to get 2 biscuits. All right.
They were worth that $1.
Yeah. That used to be my staple when I was in college, was the Bojangles biscuits. 100%.
I didn't even know they existed.
I didn't know they existed either.
Yeah, they was. Well, I went to Morgan State. They were in Baltimore back in the 80s.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't
They
even
weren't down here, but they were in Baltimore. Yeah.
Really? I didn't
Yes.
know they existed.
Yes.
I learned something. Freddie was right, man. Them jokers was good.
Yes. And you like you said, with the grape jelly. You got to put the grape jelly on it. No doubt.
Bojangles, that was my second time ever going to Bojangles before. And then my third time was actually yesterday morning. I went to
Are you saying you're a crack addict now, Freddie?
the ones in North Carolina was better. The ones because I wanted to see while it was still fresh in my mind, and it was early.
Taste comparison.
I still ate the biscuits.
I bet you did.
But the North Carolina ones was definitely better.
It's what they do. It's what they do. All right, gentlemen. Appreciate your time today. Appreciate everybody for watching and listening. If you're just listening on the podcast, we hope you have a great weekend. We will see you guys next week.